In this video, I'm going to talk about a few different ways to have more money. Timestamp to skip the boring introduction phase. What is wealth? An arbitrary question that I'm sure every single person on this planet will have a different answer to. A child? To afford chicken nuggets and the Super Duper from the tuck shop. A teenager? New Beats by Dre, or perhaps a 1997 Nissan Skyline with only 200,000 clock kilometers that only drinks 98 octane. A lower class adult? To take yourself and your partner out to a nice dinner? Perhaps afford to visit your parents in Queensland. A middle class adult? To buy yourself a new sedan and potentially settle in a nice unit or apartment 30 minutes away from the city where you work. An upper class adult? To purchase your third investment property or another Rolex to add to the collection. Homeless? To afford your next meal, perhaps. In my opinion and perspective, wealth equals our needs met and wants desired. Once our needs are met, we can settle for our wants. This is my theory and may not sit comfortably with everyone. In the future, as I grow older and wiser, this personal equation might change. My desires may not come from money. As a 24-year-old Australian, I can comfortably say that most of my needs are taken care of. I have a stable, full-time career that I am passionate about. I have a car, I can afford rent, groceries, and also have the privilege to visit my friends and family that live in a different state. All my needs are met, however, not my wants. I want nice things too. I am privileged enough to not worry about my needs, and hence can focus on my wants. What are these wants, you may ask? More international holidays, GeForce 5090, a $15,000 untouched sapphire to make an engagement ring for my beautiful girlfriend. The desires to meet my wants have encouraged me to start side hustles and find different ways to make more money. I know there are heaps of videos out there outlining what you can do to make extra cash on the side. Start Uber driving, start a dropshipping business, print on demand for Etsy. Whilst all those jobs may work, it's not like a gold mine. You really need to put in the work and at times can result in nothing. I am not discouraging you from trying, but if you're someone that's already working full time, sometimes you already have enough on your plate. So, here are a few things, in my opinion, that have worked for me to make a little extra money in order to save up for my wants. Short term, ways to make money immediately. Selling items on Steam. Did you play video games growing up? I was a huge fan of CSGO and Team Fortress 2. Like many children, I spent money on these in-game items. We're talking pixels on a screen, purchased with real cash. Sure, it sounds silly on paper, but we were children. We had fun and that's all that matters. However, all is not lost. Old TF2 and CSGO items have risen in price. You can now sell these items on websites like Skinport for real money. Let me show you an example. This AK-47 CSGO cartel skin was purchased, if I can remember, in early 2010 for about $5. Recently, this was sold for $30. That is a massive wait time for an investment to mature. However, if you had an old Steam account just lying around, it may be worthwhile to have a gander just to see whether you could make a little extra on the side by selling these unwanted items. Selling items on Facebook Marketplace. I recently moved to a new state, just for a change of scenery. Moving in with a roommate is great because it meant we could share appliances, making some of the things I brought down redundant. Example, I brought down 3 rice cookers because I love rice. One of which I was able to sell quickly on Marketplace actually. Another item I was able to sell quickly that I brought down is a gaming chair. Some items you put on can be a hit or miss and could also take a while to sell. However, it may be worthwhile to take a look around your house for some appliances that you may not need that could be sold on Marketplace for a little extra coin. The other benefit is you can also declutter your house. There's an old Chinese saying, large wealth comes from luck, small wealth comes from savings. If either of those two options we talked about don't work for you, You can minus your outgoing expenses to have more cash on hand. One of the biggest money wasters I have done in the past is paying speeding fines and damages to my car. $200 here, $400 over there, 3 grand just handed over like Oprah. I have no complaints because these were all my fault. I was speeding, I was driving recklessly, and I deserve the consequences. I am just fortunate that no one was hurt in the process. However, this got me thinking, why not avoid speeding altogether? If you compare the consequences of getting caught speeding or the cost to repair your car to being late for work or to friends gathering, the differences are huge. Being late is a horrible, horrible feeling, but just remember how worse you will feel if you crashed. I always hear people say meal prepping is the way to save money. You simplify the meals for lunch and dinner into a couple of main components. Let's say rice, steak, and veggies. Day one, you eat it and you feel amazing because you get to save time and money. Day two, same ripple effect. However, by day four, your palate gets tired and you start craving other foods. Whilst I agree that meal prepping can significantly cut down on your money expenditures, the human body will crave other foods very soon. For myself, it's always fried chicken, french fries, guacamole. I crave these foods every 2 to 3 days. Best way to work around this? Learn to cook for your palate. Learn how to make fried chicken and your dipping sauces. Learn how to make french fries. Save eating out as a treat when you're with your friends, not to satisfy your weeknight cravings. Here's a quick way to make my fried chicken, assuming you have an air fryer. Brine your drumsticks for 2 hours. I use about 20 to 30 grams of salt per litre of water. When you're finished, pat dry the chicken. Chuck it in a freezer bag with seasoning to your heart's desire. My normal rub is salt, paprika, and garlic powder, followed by 2 tablespoons of oil. Mix, 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 and let it sit in your fridge for 24 hours. Fry in the air fryer for about 20 minutes. Flip, then another 15 minutes, both at 200 degrees. Keep in mind, when you brine a chicken, the salt, because of osmosis, gets attached into the chicken meat. So when you are putting salt on, put a little less than normal. Now, you might think that's not real fried chicken. And you're right, it's not. That's why I said learn to cook for your palate. For me, air fried chicken satisfies a certain craving with me. A dark, dark craving, helping me to save a visit to KFC for when I am out with friends next time. A few more rapid fire tips for you. Use Petrol Spy to find the cheapest petrol in your area. Be flexible in your diet. Eat with the season in terms of vegetables and fruit. Choose cheaper sources of protein like chicken. Use your sick days. I know this last tip may not equate to more money, but people always say time is money. Fulfill your other wants with your 6 days. Sick days, such as mental health day, just to play video games. This mental exercise is more for me to gather my own thoughts and to let you all know what has worked for me. One day I may strike it rich with a lotto ticket or finding gold, but for now, making savings here and there will give me small wealth. Bye for now.